Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to session 2 of Smart Start, brought to you by the Division of Student Services and Development as part of your first year experience right here at the UWI St. Augustine campus. I am Gerald Alda, Manager of Student Engagement, and today I am joined by a very dynamic cross-campus team, as well as some specially invited guests who you will meet in just a short while, and together we will guide you today through what I trust would be a most insightful and enjoyable session. For those of you who were here with us for last week's session, we say welcome back and thank you for engaging and sharing your much valued feedback with us. And to those of you who are new here, joining us this week for the very first time, we say an extra special welcome to you. Welcome to Smart Start and welcome to the First Year Experience program. We are truly honored that you have chosen us at the UWI St. Augustine campus for your university experience. And through our First Year Experience program, which we refer to as FYE, we are indeed committed to ensuring that you transition successfully to your first year of study with us and beyond. So at last week's session, incoming students, we looked at getting started with university life, which was followed by a discussion on next steps that you should take now that you have received your offer letter from the UWI. Of course, if you missed this session or would simply like a recap of the information shared, here's a gentle reminder that this video recording is available on our FYE YouTube channel for you to view at your convenience. In today's session, we will be discussing all things fees, finance, and funding, a very, very important topic, and information that you certainly want to pay close attention to and to take note of. We'll begin this afternoon with a presentation from members of the Student Accounts Bursary team at our campus, after which you'll be briefly introduced to the scholarships, bursaries, and funding opportunities that are available to you on campus through the Financial Advisory Services Department. This will then be followed with an overview of the G.A.T.E and HELP programs managed by the Funding and Grants Administration Division within the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. And that's not all. A little later in the session, you'll be assigned to breakout rooms where members of our campus's admissions team will guide you through the key steps involved in the upcoming registration process that you, as new students, will be involved in. Lastly, you can expect today a quick overview of some important UWI-specific terms and acronyms that you should become familiar with as incoming students. So as you can tell, there is much to absorb in today's session, valuable insights and information that will help your preparation and confidence as incoming first-year university students. So to ensure that you have the absolute best experience today, we encourage you to be attentive throughout the session, to take notes as we go along, keep your microphones muted until the designated Q&A segment, ask questions at the appropriate time. Feel free to turn on your cameras also. We'd love to see your faces. Most importantly, we want you to just breathe and trust that by participating in the FYE program, you are definitely on the right path of attaining success in your first year with us at the UWI St. Augustine campus. So now that I've shared some information with you on what you can expect today, it is my pleasure to invite from our campus's Student Accounts team, Ms. Lisa Ali, who will guide you through our first presentation. So Ms. Ali, I'm handing over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Gerald. Thank you so much. Let me just allow first our Senior Financial Manager, Mrs. G.A.T.E, just to give a brief introduction, and then I will take it from there.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon to Gerald, and congratulations and welcome to all our students. We are so happy to have you join us at our St. Augustine campus. This afternoon, I'm joined by Ms. Lisa Ali, one of our accounting supervisors in the student account section, Mrs. Cora Howard, supervisor in our section as well, Ms. G.A.T.E Naraindath, who is a financial manager in our team. And yes, so I would now hand over to Lisa, who will take us through the presentation, which will be on financing and fees. Lisa?
Thanks, Mrs. G.A.T.E. So as introduced by Mrs. G.A.T.E, again, a heartfelt welcome to all of you new students for your first year experience 2025-2026. You would have heard from Mrs. G.A.T.E, and of course, as she introduced, Mrs. Narainath Maharaj is another financial manager within the students and accounts and receivable section. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about fees, And in the fees, we're going to be looking at what actually encompasses the various fees that you would have to pay as a student. So that would mean compulsory fees, then tuition fees, a FeePay enrollment fee, which we will get into an explanation about, and then whole fees. So for the first set of fees, the compulsory fees, now these are payable at the beginning of each academic year. And what that means is that you will always see it appearing on your account in the first semester of every academic year. On screen, you would notice a list of all the fees that are payable in the amount of 1,534. And it comprises of a number of different fees which will serve you as a student while you're on campus, whether it's tangible or intangible benefits. The ID card is a fee that you pay once for the duration of your program, as well as the caution money. And these two fees, this is really dependent on the faculty that you're in. So if you're in the faculty of food and agriculture, for example, of course, that means your per credit fee is going to be 420. And as the list goes down, let's say for faculty of engineering, it will be 600 TT dollars. Everything on screen is quoted in TT dollars per credit. That simply means it's really dependent on how many credits you're doing for a particular semester. That actually dictates what is the cost for that semester. So if you're doing 3 courses at 3 credits each, that's 9 credits. You just take that 9 credits and you multiply it by your per credit fee, and that's how you would determine what it is you are going to have to pay or take care of financially at the university. Of course, we do have hall fees that are related to the halls of residence. For this upcoming academic year, we do have Joyce Gibson Innes Hall, which is located at Mount Hope, Canada Hall, Arthur Lewis, which is located in St. John's Road in St. Augustine, and then we also have Freedom Hall. All of the information can be found at the Halls of Residence website. It's on the screen right now, but you can always post the link for you at a later time so that you have that information in terms of how you go about applying to stay at one of the halls. And again, these hall fees, they are payable at the beginning of each semester. And you also have the option of having a payment plan for these payment fees, but that is directly with the particular hall. Now we move on to FeePay. Now this is something you're going to hear continuously throughout your life as a student. And why it's important, it's because it serves a twofold purpose. It serves the purpose as an automated payment plan to allow you that flexibility of paying your fees. And it's also something mandatory because that is the only way that you get financial clearance. We will get into what financial clearance really means, but for our student accounts and receivables section, financial clearance is what you have to maintain with us in order to remain a registered student throughout your time. Now, FeePay is something that is accessible through your My Secure area. And again, as I mentioned, it's open to all students. So we spoke about financial clearance, and what financial clearance really is, again, is really like your window to the world of your university life. On screen, you'll see a number of the options or services that it allows you to have access to. So importantly, a UE student ID card. Of course, you won't be able to enter the campus without one. It allows you to be able to access various services as the health services unit. If you want to be able to take part in the gym, if you want to access the tennis court or the swimming pool, and of course, if you have a vehicle or parking pass. Most importantly, when it comes to your academic standing, it will be for your ability to access My Secure area, to be able to even enter the examination room or to upload any of your coursework. And when you do get to the point of graduation, to be able to leave the university with your degree in your hand. Now, the payment plan, as I mentioned, it's available to all students, and it's really separated into 2 categories. And on screen, you will see one that says sponsored students, and then you're going to see the other one that it's named non-sponsored students, and it's just as the name suggests, if you're being sponsored by any third party, and that will take into consideration if you're being sponsored by G.A.T.E, if you're being granted any sort of bursary or scholarship, whether it's through UE or nationally, or your government is funding you from any source of funding, you will be considered a sponsored student. And if you are being sponsored, then it means you're gonna have a payment plan where the first installment will be, the first and second installment rather, is gonna be slightly less than what the last installment is, and that's so that we can give sufficient time for your sponsor to be able to be added onto your account or make whatever payments on your behalf. So the non-sponsored, however, the percentages for those installments are different. The first installment is higher than the second and the third installment. And again, that's because a non-sponsored student would not be benefiting from a funding arrangement from an external source or from a third-party source. As you look on your screen, you would notice each payment plan though, for semester 1 and semester 2, it will be 3 installments. Of course, we will share the dates for these installments at a later time while we finalize what our installment dates are. But for all intents and purposes, it's usually at the end of every month for 3 months. So just keep that in mind when you're taking into consideration how your payments would run. We spoke about how do you get onto FeePay, how do you get access to FeePay, and again, it's through your MySecure area, which you will become familiar with over time. And the navigation to the top, it's through Student Services Financial Aid. And then when you go to registration, again, this will be repeated to you as you go through your various orientation sessions. And once you click or you select your particular courses for the semester, then you're able to enroll in FeePay. And that's important because remember, it's a payment plan. So you have to actually be registered for courses for the particular semester in order to be able to enroll in FeePay, to access the plan, and most importantly, to be able to get financial clearance. Now, even though we're saying that it's a payment plan and you still have the option of paying your fees in full at the beginning of the semester. But what is important here to note is that you still need to enroll in FeePay. And we're saying again, and that's because you have to get financial clearance. That's the only way you're going to get that system update that you are financially cleared so that you're able to access your classes and whatnot. And even if you're paying your fees in full, we're kindly asking if you could just remember enroll in FeePay before you even make or attempt to make any payments to the university. Now, we spoke about how you get financial clearance. Now we're going to go through a brief bit of how you can go about maintaining that financial clearance. So as a student, you would have two obligations to us at the Bursary. The first one would be to ensure that you submit your registration documents on time. And the second one, if you are paying in through the payment plan and the installment dates, then just make sure that your payments are made by the stipulated due dates that your payment plan would give to you. When it comes to submitting your documents, of course, it varies per student, but these are a sample of some of the documents that would be required. In instances where it's required, definitely would be a signed fee assessment invoice. You will come to know it as a signed fee sheet. If you're accessing G.A.T.E funding, then of course you need to submit to us a signed copy of the G.A.T.E application form. If you're any sort of government sponsorship, whether it's local or regional, then you would need to submit to us your scholarship or sponsorship letter. If you're a regional student and your government is funding you for economic costs, then of course we would need that documentation as well. And for any type of payments that you're making on your own, then we would need those proof of payments. The only proof of payment that we're not asking you to submit to us would be payments that you make directly through FeePay. And the reason for that is because those payments would usually hit your account immediately, so it's updated. So we don't need that documentation from you. But for the three that you're seeing on the screen, if you're doing an online transfer through an internet banking, we need that, and we would need you to definitely also take note that you have to give us the information necessary to allocate the funds to your account, that being your student ID number and your name. If you're an international student and you're sending us a wire transfer, then we would need a copy of that advice from your bank. And if you are paying over the counter at any of the Republic Bank branches, then we would need you to also submit that receipt to us, the back and front. Now, the back of it is important as well, just as the front, because usually there is a validation at the back of the receipt from the bank, and that is what helps us to determine which account it was deposited into, should there be any issues with allocation. Now you would notice on screen, these are just sample documents of what your registration documents would look like. So on screen, the first one is a fee assessment invoice. This invoice actually tells us what the billing would be on your account at a particular point in time. But important to note, what we require from you, the student, is just at the bottom where you're seeing that wider pink box. That's where we need you to sign. And when I say sign, it's not a typed signature, it's your actual signature. That needs to go there. It's a student agreement for the university. Should any of your sponsors fail to pay on your behalf, you, the student, would be required to make the payments on your own. So if the fee sheet comes to us and it's not signed, then we're gonna tell you, we're gonna respond to you, not return the document, we're gonna respond to you and tell you it's not up to what we require you to submit. This is what your sample G.A.T.E application would look like. And while there's no designated area, this particular form, when you actually do your application for the first time for signature, we often ask you to sign the top right, of the G.A.T.E form. So anywhere on the top right of the G.A.T.E form, your signature needs to be there. Now, a point to note, the signature that is placed on your G.A.T.E application needs to also be the same signature that is placed on your fee sheet. If it's not matching, then again, we're going to tell you your documents are not sufficient and it's not going to be acceptable. For those of you who may be accessing scholarships from the government of Trinidad and Tobago, this is an example of what your university support letter looks like. It's a lot more detailed, where it gives us exactly the program that you're doing, the type of scholarship that you're getting, or funding arrangement, whether it's national bursary or national scholarship. It tells us the program, the duration, and of course, for your purposes, you will be told exactly how you go about maintaining your scholarship or your sponsorship from your respective government. The submission of the documents to us, nothing is done hard copy, everything is done through online. So we do have a designated online platform. It's called eCourier, and this is available on our website. Every document that you're submitting to us must be submitted through this online platform. We do have a criteria in which you are to submit your documents. You would notice that it says in one PDF attachment. And the reason for that is because we have to then in turn upload these documents to the respective student accounts. So that's why we would need you to make sure whatever you're sharing with us, it's not multiple documents in one submission. It's one single document you're sending to us. Of course, ensure that it's named properly so that we can identify who the particular document relates to. So that would be your student name and your student ID number, so that we can easily upload those documents as necessary. So there are two links for eCourier. If you are doing the submission during the regular registration period, then you would be using the first link. But for persons who are submitting late, or you're paying late and you're now submitting the proof of payments to us, then there's a second link, which we refer to as late registration or late inbox, and that would be the link that you're using. But I know everybody here would make sure that they submit on time, so everybody here will be using the first link that is on the website. So we're going to talk a little bit about several options on how you can go about financing your degree. Of course, we do have representatives from the G.A.T.E office, and they will go more into detail with that, as well as the manager from Financial Advisory Services, who will talk more about the bursaries and scholarships offered to the university. But just as an oversight, on our end, it's really important that you submit your e-G.A.T.E application. Once you apply for G.A.T.E funding, it's really important that you submit that application to us for the particular semester, and not only on our end, but for the G.A.T.E office as well, so that they can do their part to make sure that they can approve your particular means rate for that semester. And then for UE to make sure that we have sufficient time to update your account as well. The help loan is an arrangement also offered through the FGAD division, and that really is, as the name suggests, it's a loan, but it's a low interest loan that's available to students as well. On screen, you would see the 4 commercial banks that it's facilitated through: Republic Bank, RBC, First Citizens, and Scotia. But with Republic Bank, it's only facilitated through the St. Augustine branch or the UB branch. And the same thing with RBC, it's only facilitated through the St. Augustine branch. For Citizens and Scotia, you can go to any of those branches and they will be able to assist you with the application and processing of your help loan. Now, I mentioned that some of you may be national bursaries and national scholars. Again, these scholarships would be something that's awarded to you based on your merit of your CAPE results. The national bursaries is something that you can actually apply for. So for those of you who may be looking for an additional funding option, you can go to the government's website. If you want to just simply Google National Bursaries, Government of Trinidad and Tobago, everything is on screen for you in terms of application and what is required from you in terms of merit as a student. And internally with the university, we do have assistance through the Office of the Financial Advisory Services Department, through the Division of Student Services and Development. And again, Ms. Manet, she will be able to give you more information on that in her presentation up next. For those of you for paying, we do have several options of payment methods. The first one I mentioned would have been through FeePay, and that is if you have a credit card and if you have a debit chip card that you can use to make a payment online. This is really the most preferred method, simply being it's because it hits your account immediately. So even if you should delay in your payment, which I'm hoping you don't, once you use this method, it's going to be updated on your account immediately, and that gives you sufficient time to be able to attend your classes should you be blocked for any reason. The second method, is if you're paying through our student deposit slip at any branch of Republic Bank. Again, those documents need to come to us, the front and back of the receipt. If you wish to add UE as a payee, we are set up registered with Republic Bank as a bill payee, so you can simply add that payee onto your list so that you can easily do online transfers. Even though you're doing an online transfer and it may hit immediately if you are a Republic Bank user, we still need you to submit those documents to us again so that we can ensure that the payment received is allocated to your account properly. And again, for our foreign students, if you're paying via wire transfer, we just definitely need you to send us a copy of the credit advice received from your particular bank. So if again, you need to contact us, there are 3 ways that you can contact us. If you need more information on what we spoke about, all of the links, all of the various platforms, our bursary website is available at sda.uwi.edu/bursary. If you want to ask a particular question and you prefer to do it by email, then you can contact us through the Bursary Service Desk, which is available on the Bursary website. And if you want to come and have a more personalized conversation with us, that's absolutely no problem either. We are located in the Lloyd Braffett building and we are available between the hours of 8:30 to 4:30. So that brings the end of my presentation. So I'm handing back over to you, Mr. Olga.
Thank you so very much, Miss Ali. And I want to ask if it is that we could just jump to the chat just for a few seconds. Let's get some energy going. Let's show some love to the Bursary team as well, student accounts, taking the time this afternoon to share with you such pertinent information. And I'm hoping that you've been taking notes. There's also the link to the Bursary website that was also placed in the chat. So this is a time, students, that you want to honor your responsibility. I'm hoping that by now you can appreciate the level of independence that you have or is required of you as you navigate this new university environment. So today, information was shared with you. And so we want to encourage you to make sense of that information and to act responsibly over the next few weeks so that you are in good standing. I'm seeing some really good stuff coming through the chat as well. We're getting the energy going, and that's also very good. So Miss Ali, we want to say thank you so very much again. Mrs. Gooding, we want to say thank you as well. And Miss Howard, who I know is on, thank you so very much to the Student Accounts team. So students, you've heard it here. So much information shared with you. And so we're encouraging you now to spend this time really understanding that which is required of you as it relates to next steps, and acting in a timely manner so that you're in good standing as we prepare for the start of the new academic year. I also want to acknowledge that there were some key terms shared with you. You heard about student portal, you heard about FeePay, among other things. So we're asking you to take note of those things and stay with us at FYE because we're going to be supporting you through every stage of this transition process. It's my pleasure at this time to invite a dear colleague of mine, Miss Smith, Miss Manet Smith from the Financial Advisory Services Department. She's the manager at what we fondly call the FAS. And Miss Smith is here this afternoon to share with you all of the opportunities that are available. So Miss Smith, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alda, and of course to your team. Congrats on a great session. Welcome to the University of the West Indies. We are so thrilled to be here with you today to provide information on the scholarships, bursaries, grants, and other funding opportunities available to you once you come into us in August and you're fully registered. So I will just get right into my presentation today. Yes. Okay, excellent. And so we are one of the support service departments under the Division of Student Services and Development. And students, I want you to get really familiar with the DSSD. You can probably type it in the chat, DSSD. We provide that sort of non-academic support. Our one of our fellow departments, of course, being the Student Engagement Unit, led by Mr. Alder. And as you come in over the weeks, the Smart Start presentations will allow you to explore the other departments you're seeing on the screen. And so being part of the DSSD, the Division of Student Services and Development, we look at your holistic development. So yes, it's funding, but it's beyond funding. It's more support, how we can support you throughout your journey here at the UWI, how we can level the playing field and provide more access to you. And this beautiful picture that you're seeing on the screen is actually where we are located. We are on the first floor of the Lloyd Bradford building. Miss Ali alluded to it earlier. We are actually right above the admissions team as well as the bursary, student bursary account section. We are right above them. So if you're coming into the building, feel free to pop in and visit us. We're on the first floor. And so what do? In short, we provide financial aid, we assist you through financial literacy program, financial education, and of course, general financial assistance. So let's take a closer look. So among some of the funding sources, these are the areas that you can tap into. Miss Ali spoke to you about the FeePay plan. You will hear from the G.A.T.E and help loan officers on our call today. And of course, these are some of the areas that you as students coming in can tap into to fund your degree. They include, of course, our UE headquarters, which offers scholarships and bursaries for students at all campuses. So there's opportunity there. I'll tell you more about that shortly. We also have, of course, the G.A.T.E program. Ms. Ali alluded to it, and I know that you will get the depth of information. All your burning questions will certainly be answered shortly, as well as national scholarships and bursaries. And what I will be focusing on today is the UWI St. Augustine campus scholarships and bursaries and our financial aid programs through grants. So our scholarship and bursary program is administered under what we call the CCUA. Now, let me tell you something. We have a lot of acronyms here at UWI. So, I'm just kind of introducing you to it and getting you familiar. CCUA. So once you come in and you apply, the scholarship will come under that umbrella of CCUA. And that will become very important when you're being asked what type of scholarship and bursary you received. CCUA simply stands for Campus Committee for Undergraduate Awards. And we do as well have the Institutional Advancement Division where the other awards come from. So here are some fast facts about our scholarships and bursaries. And I usually get very, very, very excited about this because we have made this so accessible by working with our donors to provide these opportunities for you. And so these awards are available, and you might want to take a little screenshot of this. They're available to full-time undergraduate students. And here's another beautiful aspect. It does not impact your G.A.T.E funding. I almost said great, but it is great. G.A.T.E is great. So it doesn't affect your G.A.T.E funding. It means that these awards, while you can use it to supplement some of your tuition fees for those of you who may get partial funding, it is not mandatory that you use it for that purpose. These funds, donated generously by private sponsors and donors across Trinidad and Tobago, our campus here at the campus level, as well as our regional friends and partners. These awards are really meant to support you in your other area of university life, transportation, etc. I'll tell you more about it as we proceed. But another great criteria is that the minimum requirement is usually good grades. For you all who are coming in, we will look at your CAPE results. We will look at those of you who would have done associate degrees, pre-university programs. We just look to make sure you have decent grades. I mean, the better the grades, the greater the opportunity. But because our awards are not only based on grades, we have other criteria that we also look at to give you access to funding. And one of the critical areas is financial need. I would ask you to put up your hand, and I'll be the first to put up mine, if you have some sort of financial need. I would be first to put up my hand because in the post-COVID era, we all became that person. Just needing that. Yes, and is it Antoine? Yes, I'm seeing the hands going up. Farah, Joshua. Yeah, we're all that person now. We always need that little extra to bide us over. For you all, you have some of you, your parents are supporting you. You may be in single parent homes. You may be with persons, your grandparents who are now pension age. For some of you, you may be receiving social security grants, and that's how you're being supported. This is where these funds come in. They play a really critical role, right, in sustaining you. So that financial need component, and I just want to thank everyone for just being so open and honest and raising your hand. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's what we are all about. There's no judgment here. And so if you do have a financial need, this is actually where these awards come in because 99% of our scholarships and bursaries are based on financial need, of course, in addition to minimum criteria as listed for academic performance. We do have some donors who get very specific with their criteria, and I'll share that with you shortly. But because they open up their criteria, it gives certain students more access to these awards. You may have a very good GPA and not so good financial need, but you may live in Sangre Grande, you might be entitled to one. Or you might have good grades, high financial need, and you are probably coming from St. Joseph Convent, Port of Spain. You will be accessible. You will be an award from St. Joseph will be available to you. So I invite you to just learn more as we proceed. There's a booklet online that you can check out as well. And so our baseline amount is 5,000 TT dollars, right? 5,000 TT dollars. For those in the region, let's put it to you as US. It starts off at 735 US, and that's for the academic year. Many of our scholarships and bursaries are one-off. It means that you can apply every year to be selected. But the core thing here is that it starts at 735 US and can go up to 30,000 TT, which is about 4,500 US. Some of them also come with paid internships. So I'm always happy to say this because in addition to these funds that the donors are giving to you, they also offer you internship opportunities where you can get working experience, and of course they are going to pay you for that period during the vacation time. Our applications are online, so though we would love to see you face to face, and we have a lot of support mechanisms to help you through your application process, you can just go online onto our website and the QR code is there, scan and access our applications. And so I mentioned to you that the awards are valued at $5,000 TT dollars. Now, here's how this can work for you. Any of you have to commute to campus by maybe a thumbs up, a show of hand. Commuting from San Fernando, deep south. Yes, I'm seeing the hands going up. Karima, Arun, Kessia, Sharon, right? So you're commuting, whether it's from Mayaro, Port of Spain, Roger, yes. And so this is where these funds can actually come in to help support you. Whether you're driving, you have to take the PTSD bus, you have to hire a car, you have to get 3 or 4 cars to come out from where you are. $5,000 can assist you with that. Any of you staying on hall, maybe a show of hands, who are going to be registered on Freedom Hall, Canada Hall, Sir Arthur Lewis, JGI, yes, Gracie, yes, Ashwarya, Celeste, Carrie, Dylan, great. So your hall fees could run you about above upwards of $6,000. If you get an award valued at $5,000, this is where this can support you. Yeah, so you're getting the gist of it. You're getting the gist of it. Those of you who may need to buy food, may need to buy stethoscopes, books for your law degree, dentistry kits for your dental program, Faculty of Humanities and Education, those of you who may be involved in the film program or any program where you need to purchase books, equipment, and supplies, this is where this $5,000 can help you. And so I did allude to our criteria. We do have a GPA requirement, financial need, and also some of our donors require that you are involved in extra and co-curricular activities. So if you've volunteered in your church, in your community with an NGO, if you do any type of community service, also if you've started a business, any entrepreneurs in the group, if you are an entrepreneur, you have an Instagram page and you have any kind of documentation to support. Yes, Michelle, I'm seeing you. This you can put in here and we can score you to give you greater access now to those awards that include financial need. Yes, Haley, so great. So just bear this in mind because I'm saying all of this. You have documents to fill out, of course, right? It's not too onerous, but I'm just telling you what could give you that access that you need to be considered eligible. Some of our donors ask that you're part of certain associations that they may be affiliated with. Some of them may want you to live in a certain area. If you're from Sangre Grande, we have awards for that. We have St. Joseph Convent, Port of Spain, Holy Name Convent, Port of Spain. There's one for Naparima Girls, Hillview College. So all these past pupils associations, they have donated to students who went to that school within a 2 to 5 year period, and you can access awards based on their generous donations, right? Some are specific to the undergraduate program you're registered in. So this is undergraduates we're dealing with here specifically. There's a separate department in the graduate school that deals with scholarships and bursaries for graduate students. So you might be asking, how do I do this? How do I sign up? The first thing we want you to do is visit our website. All right. So we want you to visit our website, and I've put the QR code there for you to navigate to scholarships and bursaries and then to our webpage. Right now, the applications are not open. It's not open. We will open applications on the 25th of August. And at that time, we want you to go onto the website and submit one application, submit it to the main application portal, and you will be considered for the range of awards that we have. Some awards may require you to have individual applications. You will see where that is listed. But to be considered for all, just submit one main application. Got it? Can I have a thumbs up? Are you with me? Let me see some thumbs up in the chat if you are. The second step, I'm not seeing any thumbs ups, but we'll get to it. The second step, of course, is that you need to complete our supporting documents. And this is very, very critical. And so I spoke about financial need and that being a main criteria for 99% of our awards. If you do not submit the supporting documents, it will be impossible for us to look at that area of your life, to say to our donors, hey, this student has some evidence of need. Let's support this student. So we want to support you. So please, we are urging you to complete the supporting documents, which include, you see that big red circle, income and expenditure form, and we bring in a notary during the month of September and during our continuing student cycle. We actually bring a notary, a commissioner here on campus to sign those documents, to take a look at it, stamp it up, and you pay just $20. Now, you are free to find a commissioner or a notary to notarize this document as well, but we have put the facility here for you, for your benefit. So during the month of September, we will have our commissioner here to assist with these documents. You'll have to speak with your parents, guardians, if you're self-supporting, or if your spouse, your banks, to get the verifiable evidence, which include job letters, social security grant receipts, a pension payment slip, electricity bill, certified job letter, and any other documentation that could help to present your level of need, a case for it. Also on our form, on the income and expenditure form, there's a section where we ask you to tell us more. Tell us about your situation, and we really factor that in when building a case. So go to town, tell us what you're experiencing. It's highly confidential and kept within the close quarters here of our department, and of course confined by the university's student data policy. All right, so your information is safe with us. The third, of course, is to submit your application. And so I mentioned to you, your application period for new and incoming students, that's you, is August 25th to September 30th. So the portal will open at that time. And then we again invite you to apply between January and May as a continuing student to be considered for the next academic year. So for incoming students, you're more or less applying twice. You're applying in September, August to September, and then next year, you have until May to just send in an application where we will then consider you as a continuing student for 26-27 academic year. But you'll hear more about that when you come into us in September. Apart from the scholarships and bursaries, we do have other forms of support. We have the Adopt a Student program, we have hardship grants, we have the Dr. Keith Archibald Benevolent Fund donated by the Freedom Hall Network Group, a group of alumni, and other forms of support from time to time. We do grocery hampers, food drives. We also have personal care packages and vouchers. We get a lot of support from our Guild of Students. I just want to say thanks so much to the Guild of Students for supporting in various ways. And of course, alumni and friends here at the UWI. Our Adopt a Student is based on high financial need. It offers a $400 stipend every month across the semester. Once you are eligible, of course, you have to apply online. It's on our website. And I must say that these funds are to support you with day-to-day expenses, but most importantly, these funds are only made available to you through the kind and generous voluntary donations by members of staff here at the UWI who contribute every month from their salary towards helping students, achieve this $500, access the $400 a month. So I just want to say thanks to the staff for that as well. We have a hardship grant, which is a one-time grant valued at $5,000, US 735 or any part thereof, and it provides for unexpected expenses, shortfalls in tuition, medical situations, and other life challenges. And it's open across semester 1 and semester 2. It runs during the summer or third teaching period for programs that automatically go into that period. But of course, feel free to reach out to us to hear more about this as well. We also have the Keith Archibald Benevolent Fund, offers US $1,500, books, utilities, laptops, learning tools, conferences, stationery. This is where these are sourced through this funding. It's usually a one-time grant for the academic year, and it's supported by our alumni at the Freedom Hall. We do have other opportunities. The School of Dentistry through Prof. William Smith has procured some dentistry kits for eligible dentistry students who are going into their second year of study. So you will apply for this toward the end of your first year. We will put it out there for you. And the Department of Clinical Surgical Sciences, they also recently implemented a grant for fourth and fifth year students who have funding challenges. You will hear more about the help loan from our colleagues. Of course, if you need any further information in our advisory capacity, we can provide just general information to you on credit union loans and other loan access to funding from financial institutions. And I just want to preempt GATE a bit only to say, please complete and submit your GATE application accurately and thoroughly. That's all I will say, because I know they will reinforce that. And of course, the bursary spoke about their FeePay plan, which is also important. In wrapping up, I just want to share with you that we do provide workshops through the first year experience program. The Managing Your Finances workshop allows us to work with you, and we have some excellent facilitators. This year we had Central Bank. We work to help you create a realistic budget, look at different streams of income, step into your soft life era, right? I know the things, I know the language. All right. And so we really try to work with you to give you the tools to equip you to manage your finances while you're here at UE. And then we have other topical areas based on our feedback forms, like Investing 101 and Business Essentials. We do like little 1-hour sessions online also during the second semester. And so we really look forward to welcoming you. This is a look at the team here at the Financial Advisory Services Department. They're usually, very high performing, but working in the background. When you come into us, these are the faces you could expect to find. And I will wrap up at this time. I know I'm just about 4 to 5 minutes over my time. I want to thank you for indulging me. I hope that what was shared here resonates with you, and I look forward to welcoming you in August, September. Thank you, Mr. Alder. Over to you.
Smith, thank you so very much. And naturally, I'm going to ask for our chat to just be open for a moment so that our incoming students can show their love and appreciation for the information that you've shared this afternoon. So I'm seeing some thank yous coming through in the chat, Ms. Smith. I want to ask if you can just join me on screen just for a few seconds before we head into our next segment. Just to ask you, any advice you want to share with students as of now? What do you want? What message you want to leave with them as of this moment?
Well, I think that first I want to commend the students for making this step. There are options that you can explore, and you've chosen the right one to step into the UWI quarters. But certainly maximize your opportunities here at the UWI. Yes, your classroom is important and your academics, that's why you're here. But in terms of holistic development, that's what the world is looking for. You have to differentiate yourself. And one way of doing so is to maximize the variety of opportunities outside of the classroom. Mr. Alda and his team is a great place to start. I mean, a lot of their programs are student-driven, but we also have other departments, which you will hear about in the coming weeks, that will share more with you about employment opportunities, volunteer opportunities. Get in touch and connect with the people within and outside of your faculty. Create peer networks and become an ambassador, not only for your program and your faculty, but for the UWI. It will serve you well.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smith.
You're welcome.
And of course, we'll share in the chat the link to the website, the Scholarships and Bursaries website, that students can browse and familiarize themselves with the content that's there. So we're going to say thanks again to Ms. Smith, and I'm happy to be inviting our next guest to our session this afternoon. But students, before we do, I want to just ask you to just shake up a little bit. If it is that you've been sitting for the last maybe hour or 50 minutes, now is a good time to just do a little stretch. We just want to ensure that you are energized to receive all that we have to share with you this afternoon. So as I mentioned, we have some very, very special guests with us this afternoon, and they are from the Funding and Grants Administration Division within the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. So I'm happy to welcome them to Smart Start Session 2 this afternoon. So with a virtual round of applause, let's please welcome our guests from the ministry. So team, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Alda. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, new students. My name is Dion Melville. I am an investigating officer here at the Funding and Grants Administration Division. On my right, I have Camille Hayes. She is an investigating officer in the Health Department. And on my left, I have Denicia Trim. She is a representative, she's an investigating officer in the Means Test Department. Right. So today, we will discuss the G.A.T.E program. The acronym for G.A.T.E is Government Assistance for Tuition Expenses, and the Help Loan, Higher Education Loan Program. At Funding and Grants, we manage the G.A.T.E and HELP facilities, and individually, these grants will be discussed in this session. Today, we'll be going over how the G.A.T.E system works, how we can access it, and some important things to keep in mind to ensure that you are G.A.T.E ready. How G.A.T.E works. The system is designed to make the application process smooth and seamless for students, G.A.T.E officials, and educational institutions. Importantly, all communication happens through the e-service, so you do not need to visit the G.A.T.E office in person. For instance, you can sign your G.A.T.E application form online. Remember, always contact your institution first if you are unsure about anything before assuming it is a G.A.T.E related issue. Accessing G.A.T.E. To access G.A.T.E, you must be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and must have lived within the country for at least 3 years before applying. You will need to visit the G.A.T.E website, which is www.egate.gov.tt, and use your login in credentials to complete the application form so that you can check your application status. Visit the TT Connect office convenient to you, ensuring that you walk with your national birth certificate, your national ID or passport, valid and professional email address, and an individual login credential will be sent to you via email. To be G.A.T.E ready, you need to provide certain documents for identity. You will need to provide your birth certificate, passport or ID card, and any other relevant documents such as your marriage certificate. Academic documents include your acceptance letter if you are a new student, or an academic transcript if you are a continuing student. If you're applying for the means test, make sure and include your salary slips, pension documents, or letters for self-employment. And this will be further expounded upon by my colleague, Ms. Trim. Undergraduate level programs. This slide outlines the types of undergraduate level programs covered by G.A.T.E. For undergraduate programs, G.A.T.E covers a range of options, but students must pursue them progressively. You can receive funding for combinations such as one non-terminal program along with one bachelor's degree, or one certificate with a bachelor's degree. Other combinations include one diploma, advanced diploma, or associate degree paired with a bachelor's degree. It is important to remember that students must pursue these programs progressively, meaning you must complete one level before moving on to the next. This approach ensures that you build a solid foundation in your field of study. Being G.A.T.E ready. It is important to note that G.A.T.E is not automatic. Students must be G.A.T.E ready by applying within the correct academic year and semester, and by attaching all specified documents, including those required for the means test. The system will guide you through the process, but it is critical to be thorough to avoid delays. The student is not G.A.T.E ready for the following reasons. There are several conditions where a student might not be GATE ready. For example, if your GPA is below the accepted standard, which is 2.0, or if you have a leave of absence, or if you've withdrawn from your program, you would not be eligible for GATE. It is important to keep in mind as you plan your studies all of the above mentioned. Understanding GATE. GATE is not mandatory. A student can decide whether or not to utilize GATE funding, and it is crucial to understand what GATE requires from both new and continuing students. Remember that using GATE is your personal choice. You and your family can decide not to use it if it is your preference, and you can consider transferring It is crucial to understand that GATE requires certain things from new and continuing students. Students must attach an acceptance letter, while continuing students must provide an updated academic transcript. If you withdraw, take a leave of absence, or change your degree option, you must notify GATE with the appropriate documentation from your university to be reviewed by a senior investigating officer. So transfers, if you're considering transferring, it will need to be firstly approved by the university, and an official document must be submitted to GATE. GATE's decision on your transfer will be based on these documents and the policies in place. The GATE application. During the application process, if there are any issues or corrections needed, you will receive a notification via email, which you will have to respond to within 14 days to make the necessary corrections. If you do not, your application may be canceled. And once your application is processed, make sure that you keep GATE as a contact in your email so that you do not miss any pertinent information or updates on your status. Important notes for the student. Finally, there are some important notes to keep in mind. GATE does not place holds on your account. That is the university's responsibility. Also, GATE pays approved paid tuition fees based on your means test rate. So as any issues with fees should be directed to the university's bursary. And most importantly, if your cumulative GPA drops too low, you will not be eligible for GATE. So keep an eye on your academic performance. As I mentioned before, the present GPA requirement at your university is 2.0 and above. We'll now hand over to my colleague, Ms. Denicia Trim, who will now speak on means testing.
Hi, good afternoon all. I'm Denicia Trim. I am an investigating officer for the means test division. So what is means? Means can be defined as several things. So firstly, means is an assessment of the family or independent individuals to contribute financially to the cost of tertiary education. So a grant, an annual grant can be, So grant annually and can change each year based on household income. For example, you may get 100% year one, and then your finances change, and you get 75% because you have an increase in financial income more. So therefore you get a different rate. So each year we calculate the means test rate. Students are encouraged to provide all relevant documents for review. Household. Refer to all persons living within the household/household members. For example, parents, aunts, uncle, grandparents, etc. living within the household. Household income refers to all sources of income in the household. For example, your monthly salary, a payslip, pension, NIS, allowances, disability grants, and this income coming in the household, so that's part of the household income. Students are strongly advised to carefully read the FAQ, the FAQ section before completing the GATE application to make sure you have all the right information before you submit your application. Okay, so if you don't submit all the information, or if we are doing a further investigation, we send a means test query email with additional information required from the student. The student is given 14 days to respond. Failure to respond will result in a sanction of 50% means rate for incomplete applications. So if you don't respond to your query in time, you are rated 50% by the system because you did not complete the query. Students who are sanctioned with 50% means test rate will be required to pay the remaining 50% of the annual tuition fee to the institution. So if you do not submit, you get 50% funding, that's the entire academic year. Okay, so emails. Students are therefore encouraged to make regular checks to their inbox, junk, spam to ensure timely receipt of the means query notification and avoid sanction of 50% means test rate. So always check your emails. Junk, spam, make sure. G.A.T.E always respond to students via email. So please, please check your emails. Who is eligible for G.A.T.E? Okay, the household income levels are where the household income is 10,000 per month or less. Students are eligible for 100% tuition fees. When the household income is 10,000 per month or less than 30,000, student is eligible for 75% of tuition fees. If the household is 30,000 per month or less than 75,000, you are eligible for 50% tuition fees. And if the household income is 75,000 per month or above, student is not eligible for GATE funding, 0%. So this is very important to take note of, the percentage of the household income. So that will be it for the main section. Remember to follow all information, follow all questions, make sure they do the right way, and always check your email.
Now we will have Ms. Camille Hayes from the Health Loan Department.
Good afternoon. I'll be going through the requirements of the Higher Education Loan Program. So the HELP program, it is a bank loan where you would apply just like it annually. So each academic year, you will submit an application to the bank for requesting whatever it is that you require in terms of financial assistance. It is a low interest student loan. This is where the government takes care of 4% of the interest rate on your behalf. So whenever it is that you need to repay the loan, you will be paying at 4% less. Your program must be approved. The requirements for help is that you must be, like it, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, resident in the country for 3 continuous years before applying, and you must be between the ages of 18 and 50. As was indicated before in the UE presentation, you can apply at any of the 4 major banks: Republic Bank, the UE branch only, RBC, the St. Augustine branch only, FCB, or Scotiabank. You can access the application. You can go directly into the bank for the application form, or you can visit the ministry website where you can download the application and submit all of the required documents. The documents that you will find that will be written in italics on the application will be copies of your birth certificate, national ID or passport, your acceptance letter as your new students. This will be indicating that you're year 1, your academic transcript for continuing students, the payslips for all members of the household, a utility bill. This is just to verify address. So even if you're renting, if you can access it from your landlord, a copy of the utility bill. If it's not in your name, you just sign a letter of authorization so that the person is aware that you'll be using the utility bill. 2 references along with the help application form, and you're dropping it in directly to a bank of your choice. What does help cover? Help covers both tuition and non-tuition expenses. So for example, if you were not rated 100% through G.A.T.E, you can apply through help for the remaining 25% or 50%. You can also apply for books, traveling if you're not near to the institution, accommodation if you are renting to be closer to the institution, caution fees or any admin fees, and for anything related directly to your program. So if you're a medical student, you can apply for your kit, scrubs, and things like that. There's also a form of means testing done on every help application. So not because you apply for a certain amount, that does not necessarily mean that you will be granted that amount. So because you're new in St. Augustine, you can apply for up to a maximum of 35,000 each academic year. So just one thing to add, if it is that you have any issues with G.A.T.E, so if your GPA is below the minimum amount, if you did a program previously and you did not complete it, you need to sort out these issues before you can apply for help, because we will be checking to see for proof of completion, or we will also be looking at the GPA. You cannot use help if it is that you have any outstanding fees to the institution or for a previous academic year. And that brings the conclusion to the higher education loan program. You'll now find on the screen the contact information for all of the units that we discussed.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much to the entire team and students. I'm asking if you can join me in the chat and thank the team at the Funding and Grants Administration Division within the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, introducing you to the G.A.T.E program, introducing you to the Help Loan program, delving into means testing and helping you to understand that. And I'm happy that they were here to share this information with you. And of course, you know that you can follow up with the ministry thereafter should you need clarification on anything. At this time in our program, we are happy to introduce you to, or in some instances, reintroduce, if it is that you were here last week, to members of our admissions team. Mr. Jones, I see that you're on. Can I ask you to, maybe just offer a welcome to students on behalf of the admissions office? I know Mrs. Cunningham Delancey is also on, but we invite you at this time. You can welcome students on behalf of the admissions team, the team that students have been liaising with throughout this entire application process. So I'm handing over to you, and then we will assign our breakout rooms.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the admissions office, we'd like to say, again, welcome to the University of West Indies. I know the session has been a long one, but we had a lot of very important information that I think you all should take note of. I will also talk about the registration process before we start, which will incorporate a lot of the things that you heard over the last few minutes. All right, so again, so Gerald, would you go straight into the presentation, or you will do that at the breakout rooms?
We'll facilitate the breakout rooms. Thanks so much, Mr. Jones.
All right, no problem.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We are transitioning back to our main session. Welcome back, everyone. In the meantime, all our presenters who are here, I'm going to ask if you can have your cameras on for a moment. All right, we are still awaiting some persons, hopefully no delayed flights, but they'll be here soon in our main session. All right, persons are here. I see Mrs. Gooding is on. Wonderful. All right, I think the majority of us are back. So we're going to open our chat just for a few seconds. And folks, you're seeing on screen persons who are members of the UWI St. Augustine campus community and reinforcing this afternoon that you've made an excellent choice. We are a caring community and we are very, very happy to have you. So if we can show some love to all of our presenters, all of our facilitators, let me just check the chat. I want to ensure that enough love is coming through because I know a lot of information was shared, right? There we go. Okay, I'm loving what I'm seeing. All right, great. So students, we spent some time with you this afternoon. We are not done yet. We are not done yet. But I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of the persons at our campus who took time to share with you this afternoon, as well as, of course, our specially invited guests from the ministry. So colleagues, thank you so very much for your time and for sharing with our students and supporting their transition. And of course, we're looking forward to welcoming them in just a few weeks. All right, so I told you that we're not done just yet. So we have a few things that we want to do very, very quickly before we end. So students, let me know if it is that you're ready, because you definitely want to be ready for this, right? So the first thing that we're going to do, let me welcome Joseph and Megan from the Student Engagement Unit at the Division of Student Services and Development with an exciting segment. So Joseph and Megan, money for you.
Thank you so much, Jarrell. Thank you everyone for attending this session. First of all, I hope it was informative. I hope it eased some of your worries. I know attending a new space for the first time could be a little confusing and worrying, and I understand how those feelings go because I too was once there very, very, very recently. I too was once there. So we just wanted to share a bit of terms that we wanted you all to remember and to know as you're coming through this whole process of registering for university. And you might be seeing words and phrases that you're not too familiar with yet. So I just want to go through 5 of them today. The first one is financial clearance, a very, very, very important phrase that you want to be aware of. And you have to maintain financial clearance in order to access the services that our university offers to you. So by definition, financial clearance is approval given by bursary officials when you have paid all the fees on your student account. So you want to maintain that financial clearance by submitting your registration documents and paying your fees and the stipulated deadlines in your payment plan. The second term I wanted to put across to you is a financial hold, something that I hope that none of you ever have to encounter. A financial hold is a hold that is placed on your account when you are indebted to the University of the West Indies. So if for some reason, and I know sometimes things can just happen, life is very unpredictable, for some reason you end up having a hold on your account, you visit the bursary or student administration, that's the Lloyd Brathwaite Student Administration building, to get those holds sorted on your account. And the university has multitudes of support services available to you that will help you through that process. The third one is acceptance. When you are accepted into the university, you receive an offer letter. You must ensure to accept that offer letter so we know that yes, you agree to attend the university. That is an important step that a lot of prospective students miss, and we want to make sure that you all, when you receive your offer letter, please accept it so that we know yes, you're interested, yes, you're ready, and yes, we can support you. The fourth one is your fee sheet, that is commonly called your fee sheet, officially called your fee assessment invoice. That's the printout of all the courses that you have registered for this coming semester, and that will detail to you how much you have to pay in tuition fees and compulsory fees to the university. And the final one that I want to say is transcript. That's something you'll become very familiar with. You need to use it to apply to G.A.T.E. You need to use it to see how you're progressing academically. Your transcript is the list out of how you've been progressing through all of your courses, both past and present, for your university career. So that's those 5 terms that I want you to take away with, and remember, these are the terms that will be popping up every semester. And just a personal word of advice, because like I said, I was very, very recently in your shoes. Ms. Manette Smith said it in her presentation, we want you to holistically develop at the university. That means get involved in every space. Yes, classes are important, and academics should be a top priority, but when you leave the university, at the end of the day, you want to leave with an experience. So get involved, see what support services are offered by the DSSD, see how the bursary can support you, see how admissions can support you, make friends, enjoy yourself, because it's a space to enjoy yourself and have a good time. So now I'm going to pass over to my colleague Megan, who's going to lead you all through an exciting little game with some nice little prizes.
Thank you, Joseph. So just a warm welcome to our incoming UE Pelicans yet again. And I want to give a really hearty congrats to our last week's feedback winner, which is Amelia Batiste. So if you're on, congratulations to you from the SCU and by extension the DSSD. And we will be contacting you soon to collect your prize, right? Which is a bookshop gift certificate, right? So this session's trivia segment is sponsored by our lovely Call Cafe, and you all will have a chance to win a swag bag filled with Call Cafe branded goodies. So just a rule, if you all have the answer to the question that I'm gonna say just now, you all will just raise your hands and I will call on you, okay? So first question, what is the name of the portal or the system used for submitting your financial or registration documents? We will go with Jibril. You can go ahead and unmute your mic. Okay, we're not getting Jibril. Let's go with Navia. Okay, we're not getting Navia either. So let's go with Kerosene.
Hello. We couldn't
Yes.
unmute you. But this is
Okay.
not. The eCoria.
Yes, correct. Okay, so if you can just direct message me your name and your email address and your contact number, and I'll be in touch with you after the session. Yes? Okay, second question. What is the application period for the UE undergraduate bursaries and scholarships for new and incoming students? Let's go with Megan.
The 25th of August.
And when is it closing?
The 12th of September.
Close, but not quite there. So let's go with Emily.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It would be open from the 25th of August to the 30th of August.
Not quite. Karima?
Hi, it's open from the 25th of August to the 30th of September.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you very much. So you can direct message me your information as well, and I will be in touch after this session. Thank you. Jarrell, back to you.
Thank you very much, Megan and Joseph. I was hoping that you would share with our students some of the exciting things that are coming up, but I suppose that I can do it. So congratulations again to our winners. So students, we want to share with you 2 initiatives as part of your first year experience program that you can look forward to. The first is our first generation student or first gen star program for all persons who identify as being the very first in their families to attend university. All right, so I'm going to toss over to our team who would share a little bit more about what you can expect.
Are you the first in your family to attend university? Well, that means that you're a first-generation student, like many others here at the UE St. Augustine. And we have a carefully thought-out orientation program that caters to your unique needs and builds you the support that you need to have a successful university life. The First Gen Star Peer Mentorship Program pairs you with a student mentor just like yourself, who is able to ease you through the transition from university life, give you proper support and guidance, and just be a friend when you need one. Registration is currently open and the link can be found on the UE FYE website. Be sure to register soon because it closes on Friday the 11th of July. The support doesn't stop there. On the 5th of August, we have our official virtual launch and many more events and initiatives to follow. Keep up to date on social media so that you're always on track with the orientation events that cater to you. And once again, welcome as a Pelican and to the UE St. Augustine.
Wonderful. So if you are the first in your family to attend university, as you've heard, you definitely want to sign up to be part of the First Gen Start program. Visit our FYE website, register. Registration closes tomorrow. You definitely want to ensure that you benefit from this program as a first generation student. Later on this month, we will be hosting FYE mixers, which will give you a chance to meet with your peers. So, team, I'm tossing over to you. We can share with students what they can look forward to on the 29th and 30th of July.
Are you all ready for FYE mixers? On July 29th and 30th,
it's a chance to meet all of us, your student champions.
All right, so registration will open for the FYE mixes next week and the spots are limited. So once we open, you want to be quick to register so that you can benefit. So students, we have come to the end of our program today and our second session for Smart Start. We trust that the information shared with you was useful and that your experience today has helped with your confidence as you prepare to start out your new semester with us in just a few weeks. Remember, this is only session 2 of 4. So we look forward to seeing you next week right here at 1 p.m. for our third session of Smart Start, which will focus on academic readiness. This will give you a chance to meet with members of your faculty, so you want to be sure to be here, all right? We encourage you to stay tuned to your emails for all of the invites and information on upcoming FYE initiatives. We want to remind you to visit our FYE website, check out our calendar of events for all that we have coming up, and of course, stay connected with us on our social media platform, including Instagram and our FYE YouTube channel. A recording of today's session would be made available on the FYE YouTube channel in just a few days. So from all of us today here at the UE St. Augustine campus, as well as our specially invited guests from the ministry, we say thank you for joining us once again, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday, same place, same time for Smart Start Session 3. See you next time.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like,
comment,
share, and subscribe.